Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Boxer Prime versus Kyrix Xenix here on Lost Temple. Kyrix Xenix spawning as the blue Zerg player on the south side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Boxer Prime spawning here as the red Terran. So Terran versus Zerg here on Lost Temple. Looking forward to this matchup. Game 1 in this series was very exciting. Just the sheer expansion of Zerg, very powerful. Don't want to give too many details away if you guys are watching this out of order. Not going to say who's going to win. Anyways, back to this game. Boxer spawning here at the 9 o'clock position. You can see the production tab. Pretty much standard openings coming in from both players. I'm curious to see what Kyrix will be doing with this Overlord. The Overlord may try to gain sight on the command center, and what you can do with an Overlord is the sight radius is based upon the center of the unit, I believe. So what happens is that the Overlord is able to gain sight on the command center before the command center is able to gain sight on that Overlord. If you just saw that right there, currently supply lock, and now a bunker being placed on the back side. Interestingly enough, that is a very strange, and now out moves an SCV. Will that SCV see that Overlord? Not quite yet, and now the Overlord trying to make its way off. Will he be able to circumnavigate that barracks? There is the key question. Sees the barracks, and now moving back once again. Very nicely done. And now trying to back off. I'm a little surprised that the Overlord is not going to try to swing around and then come into this position here. We now see one Overlord continuing to fly around. We do see the spawning pool and the extractor now being laid down. So instead of going for the fast hatchery as he went in the first game, he is instead going to go for metabolic boost lings. Based upon the timing of this, the spawning pool will be up and before he gets 100 gas, at least for quite amount of time. And now the Overlord slowly making its way back. I believe he was able to see the refinery, and I'm not sure if the refinery was able to get sight onto that Overlord. It does not look like it, as the SCV is going to be scouting in the wrong direction. So it will be quite some time before Boxer is able to find Kyrix Xenix here on this matchup. Overlord will most likely park itself right there, as a second extractor now being laid down. I've never seen this fast of a double gas ever in a Zerg versus Terran matchup. So he could be trying to go for fast Mutalisk. This could be kind of dangerous. We'll see how this all plays out, and whether or not the Terran player will respond. And there are a number of options that can be happening here. Metabolic boost links currently being researched, and these Zerglings need to get out and perhaps try to take down that SCV. The SCV cannot be allowed to see the double gas build that is currently coming in. With only 2 Zerglings though, it may be a little bit difficult, especially as those Zerglings are now going to be trying to test this front door over here. We now see no additional Zerglings being trained. 1 Queen over here, and now we are upgrading to tier 2. So a very fast upgrade to tier 2. Are we gonna get a drop into the base? That would be a very timely move, as this SCV will be able to see that it is gonna be a layer here, or upgrading to tier 2 and double gas. Zerglings over here quickly getting taken down, and now a starport finishing off this wall in here. And that's just a Baneling's promised land right there. If you get enough Banelings right there, you can take down all 3 critical tech buildings on the 1-1-1 build. That's always very dangerous. You do not want to put all of your tech buildings there if you suspect your opponent is going Banelings. He essentially is going to reset your whole entire build, and that is always a bad sign. Overlords now making their way over here will be able to see a starport and also a tech lab now being placed down. If the Spire does go down, and that means that, yeah, the Spire now goes down. The Spire takes quite some time to build. And we do see that the starport is now going to be lifted off, most likely. No, not going to be lifted off. Wait, what is that doing? I thought he was trying to train a unit there for just a second. Didn't see it. But the Spire is currently being placed down. And are we going to get any creep tumors is the critical question. Zerg Cocoon still training up more and more drones, trying to spawn larvae. And now we see Thors being trained. Very smart move by Boxer to get Thors in order to try to counteract what he suspects to be Mutalisk. And there are Zerglings now trying to move out as well. 1 Overlord go ahead and get shot down out of the sky by those Marines. Marines doing their job, making sure that their base does not have any Overlords in there so far. And now continuing to spawn larvae, running off of 1 base, able to get about 10 larvae every game minute. So that is a lot of production there. If you're kind of curious, yeah, you're about able to get 10 larvae every game minute if you continually spawn larvae averaged over time. And as long as you produce, what, 4 Zerglings? Or 4 drones, that means you get 6 additional larvae. And now we see some SCVs on the move. Interestingly enough, we now have SCVs moving out and a Thor coming in. So this will be perhaps a Thor elevator drop onto the high ground. So the Thor gonna drop in here, and then as soon as it drops, it's gonna pick up some SCVs and then drop it down over here. So this is gonna be a very, very nice move, dropping those SCVs as they come out. They're on auto repair, and now that Thor wants some queen blood. SCVs also moving out once again. Zerglings trying to come back in. SCVs now starting to attack and need to start repairing that Thor. That Thor is taking a fair amount of damage, but those SCVs are doing a great job trying to repair it. And now in comes some Mutalisks as well. Those Mutalisks are going to be soaking up a lot of that damage using that magic box. Both sides soaking up a lot of damage so far. SCVs are getting taken down. The medevac trying to repair it, but that one Thor will get taken down. Down it goes, and all of the SCVs are currently in the cargo trying to drop those SCVs. Those Mutalisks may be able to get off a couple quick kills there. No Marines nearby, and one Thor trying to come back in to try to save it. There we go. In comes the Thor. However, the Thor will not be able to finish that off, and brilliantly done by Kyrix Zenith. Wow. Being able to keep cool under that pressure, and then using the Queens, magic boxing those Mutalisks at the same time, ensuring that the Thors needed to take 3 rounds of attack in order to take down a Mutalisk. The Mutalisks were also splash damaging those SCVs as well, so some of those SCVs, I believe, started to repair each other as they were on auto repair, and that ultimately became too much. So we now have 4 Mutalisks in the air, Zerglings sitting over here, a completely different matchup in this 1v1 matchup so far, and now another Thor trying to be trained. SCVs are continuing to be built, Marines now coming in as well, and now those Mutalisks are going to test the waters. There is one Thor over here though, and that Thor will be able to get off 1 kill. There it goes. 1 quick kill there. Thors do have a very, very slow attack rate. These Thor ships need to move out, but this is going to be a very dangerous move as a Thor coming back in, able to get another round of Javelin missiles. And really, those Thors are not as strong of a counter as long as the Zerg player is going to continually use that magic box technique and move out. 2 Thors now on the move, an additional Thor now being trained up as those Zerglings, and 1 medevac now trying to move back out. A nice round of Javelin missiles shooting and piercing those Mutalisks out of the sky. Production-wise, we are now going into mass roaches, and we also see Kyrix Zenith running off of 2 hatcheries. 2 hatcheries able to get off a lot of roaches very, very quickly. If he gets those roaches out early enough, he may be able to just simply mass roaches and take this game, as the Thors have a relatively difficult time trying to take down mass roach. The additional amount of damage, it takes about, what, more than 3 game seconds to take it down. Overlords now soaking up some of that damage from those Thors. Thors not trying to come in, SCVs not trying to pull back, but those Zerglings are going to be able to get a quick surround once again, and things are not looking good. Those Marines trying to hold back. 1 Thor will get taken down. Those SCVs going a little bit overzealous, trying to attack, and now Boxer in serious trouble once again, as there are no more Thors. Drones coming off the mineral line, and will be able to finish off this army. You can see the army of the Zerg players sitting at 800 versus 550, but the real critical indicator will be the amount of harvesters. 30 harvesters versus 22. Mutalisks trying to come in, trying to get some damage down onto that last medevac there. Medevac now taken down. Zerglings finishing off this Thor here, and now that army down to 150. Very, very heavy losses so far, as those Mutalisks want to get in more damage, perhaps try to take down some additional Marines in transition. Those Marines trying to run all the way home will not be able to make it back up that ramp. An 825 mineral army. However, Mutalisks will be able to finish this off, and now these Zerglings will simply be able to run in. SCVs coming off the mineral line, trying to get back into this fight. Another Mutalisk getting taken down there. A bunker finally being placed down. However, the Marines are not going to be coming out fast enough, neither will that Thor. Production-wise, level 1 weapons upgrade, roaches, and a lot of roaches now being trained. Roaches now making their way over here. Also spawning creep in order to make it so that those roaches are able to come back in faster. And things are definitely not looking good for Boxer. Boxer in trouble. He does have the armor. He has not pulled any SCVs off the mineral line. 7 additional roaches still being trained. And now you can see that roach trying to take down that Thor there. A large number of roaches still coming in very, very easily, as those roaches are just continuing to push in. Down it goes. SCVs trying to repair. Is it going to be enough? It does look like the Thors, it will be able to continue to repair just in time. And all of those roaches are now deciding to pull back, getting a barracks in order to finish off that wall in. A full hit point Thor will be able to save this. However, just barely. Roaches now with a range of 4 will be able to fire past this one barracks here. So this Thor needs to be careful, making sure that it does not get focused down. You can see the barracks now getting also getting focused down by those roaches. Marines now trying to come in. Another Thor trying to come in as well. Both sides being very careful. However, this one Thor needs to start engaging. Otherwise, this barracks will get taken down. Down it goes. And more roaches trying to push back in. Roaches are now simply swarming through. Thor's trying to hold the line, trying to do their best in order to deal more damage. However, it looks like though there's going to be enough roaches to take down one of the Thors. No, that one Thor down to 11. Wow, just barely able to continue to add fight there, and brilliantly done by Boxer now. Boxer able to barely stay in this game, getting multiple SCVs to continue that repair, and now placing down another barracks. Income, however, things are not looking good for Kyrix. And I believe Boxer at this stage is just simply delaying the inevitable. You can see the economic advantage. Kyrix currently mining more than double than what Boxer is at this time, and Boxer is still being forced to use mules. And these mineral patches are nearly mined out, already down to 7 mineral patches at this point in time. Roaches now will be able to take down these destructible rocks. Roaches do have the level 1 weapons upgrade. Currently researching the level 2. And more roaches still being macroed up. No spawn larva, a little bit of a delay in macro here. There is spawn larva here. And now in comes a Thor ship. Thor ship now coming in. It almost takes down that queen. That queen was down to 2 hit points. Now we'll be able to take it down, picking it back up. No queens in play over here. The Thor may be able to drop into that location and start denying this expansion over here. But it looks like that Thor ship does not want to overexpose himself. And now, very, very nice play. A command center needs to be built by Boxer to get back into this game. But now that we have Mutalisk in the air, the Mutalisk will be able to start picking off medevacs very easily. No upgrades anywhere on the armory. So those Thors are still going to be only dealing 60 damage per attack. The Thors getting a lot of attacks. Captain Thor is now coming in, and now in comes another round of attacks by those Javelin missile launchers. Thors need the level 2 upgrades in order to two-shot Mutalisk if they do not have armor upgrades. So that is very, very critical in order to make Thors 50%, or I don't know what, 66% more effective against those units. Double Thors now being dropped off. There are a lot of roaches here, and this is going to be simply a bad sign here. Mutalisk coming in, dealing a lot of damage towards this medevac. Medevac needs to get over land to try to drop a Thor. There it goes, dropping those Thors. Medevac's now getting shot. Oh no, will that medevac get taken down? Yes. However, it will be a lot of Mutalisk taken down, and now Marines trying to finish this off. Another Mutalisk taken down there. Nicely done, losing 1 medevac in order to trade for 2 Mutalisks and 1 very, very low hit point Mutalisk as well. Army-wise, you can see that the Terran player does have a Kyrix is larger at 2,075 versus Boxer's 1,650, and now Kyrix still sitting on a stronger economy, but you can see that these mineral patches will soon be mined out. Some of them already down to 20 mineral patches, and now we are going to see Boxer limited to 5 mineral patches, and without him taking an additional expansion, I cannot see how he's able to take this game. More Mutalisks being trained. Banelings maybe coming in the future if he tries to go for a Baneling nest in order to counteract those Marines. Infestors would also be a very, very strong counter as well. We do have a large amount of roaches. 20 roaches. 20 damage roaches. And with a decent 1 armor as well, we'll be able to take a beating from those Thors and especially from those Marines. So Marines and Marauders trying to hold back against this fight so far. Boxer using brilliant Thor ship play, enabling those Thors to move at a much higher speed, 2.5 instead of 2.88. But I do not think it's gonna be enough. There is just too much of an economic lead, especially as Kyrix is now taking up a 3rd base. All of these drones will soon be transferred over here, and now the Zerg player will simply be able to stand here and be able to hold this off. I would have thought that the Terran player, this map normally heavily favors Terran. However, that is not the case in this particular matchup. Forgot to turn off Raptor. We have a couple of roaches now coming in as well. Both sides fighting back and forth. Mutalisk in the air, being able to focus down many of those units there. And those Thors just trying to shoot down those Mutalisks, not focusing down on those roaches. And because of that, it takes 9 game seconds for a Thor to take down a Mutalisk. So yeah, that's a lot of time in order to try to shoot down a Mutalisk. It only takes, what, 3 game seconds, or about a little bit more than 3 in order to take down a fully a full hit point Roach even with additional armor. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 series between Boxer and Kyrix here on Lost Temple. Kyrix taking game 1 and game 2. Both of these games very, very different. And once again, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys on Battle.net.